Okay, we are live. We are live in Texas, and I have got my good buddy Bryan Barron. Dude,
Brother,
it's so good to see you.
it's good to see you. Always.
Appreciate you coming.
You were one of my heroes back in the day.
No.
Yeah, you rock star hero.
But you're the one that's carried the torch, man, the whole time. You have carried it the whole time. But let me read a little bit about you so folks that don't know you can get a feel of you, right? Bryan Barron, born in Vidor, Texas. All right. Went to all the schools. Been singing since third grade. I love that. Dude, you're a great singer and a great performer. So through high school, I remember you in high school at the Pirate Escapades.
Yes.
That's where I first saw you. I was like, that dude can freaking sing, man. He might beat us. We had a full band, and you were just up there by yourself, and I was like, damn it. I don't remember what song it was that you sang, though, but you might have been in ninth grade.
It was the Cars, and I don't mind you coming here.
Is that what it was?
All my time. Dude. And Give Me 3 Steps.
Those are the two. Holy moly.
With Brian Nash, as a matter of fact.
Brian Nash. And Brian played in our band. You're international. You've been around the world singing theme parks, national tours, cruise ships, 34 countries around the world. And you just got a freaking gold star from the city for doing that. You know, here, hold that up so folks can see that.
Yeah, this is
He is on the Walk of Fame. Okay, Walk of Fame. He's got his star on the city in front of City Hall. Freaking amazing.
Right there in Vidor.
Chiropractor. Then it happened. The Crossroads band. Freaking. You're famous around here, man. Everybody knows you, and you draw a crowd no matter where you go. I've been to many of your shows, and I really, really am impressed with the hardest working band in show business. You married Miss Jamie. I was there at that, and over at Stan's
Yes.
Lake, and dude, you have lived a life. You have lived a life. So I guess what I'm interested in is, and what we've been doing all of these shows about, is what was sort of the big, aha moment, or did a light bulb go off, or maybe several light bulbs went off, or maybe you've just been so naturally gifted that you didn't need a light bulb. The light bulb was on the beginning, and you've just been on that steady arc your whole time. I don't know.
Yeah. Really probably in high school, whenever I got put into the madrigals, into the show choir, and then that's when I was like able to see that people liked my voice and liked how I entertained. Then of course I was in acting there, and those were the moments where I was thinking, hey, I maybe could do this as a career. In my 11th grade year, I was number 4 tenor in the state, and so then I thought, hey, well, I've got everything I needed except for I can't dance. I was acting and singing, but I couldn't dance. So I went and auditioned for my first professional gig, which was at the Alabama-Coshawty Indian Reservation with me and Joe. Worked over there
Joe
for that
Taylor.
first summer. Yeah,
He
Joe
was
Taylor.
my first guest, actually.
He's also got a star on the Walk of Fame.
Right.
And he's been doing some great work out there. But we did that, and right after that, I went to Lamar as a theater major and took a lot of dance there. And so for the next probably 8 years, I had to craft this dancing thing. It didn't come natural, and a guy from Vidor dancing was not an accepted kind of thing to do back in that time.
Well, you say dancing, you're talking about, like performing on stage.
Yes.
Routines and stuff.
Ballet, jazz.
Oh, okay.
Modern, tap.
But you had to keep up with your competition, so.
Yes. Well, I always wanted to be, I said, if I'm going to do this, I want to be a triple threat. I want to be able to be hired for just any of them or all of them at any one time. And so that's really what's given me most of my work, is being able to be hired as a singer who moves good, or in some cases a dancer who happens to sing just background. And of course, the acting stuff, I'm no Joe Taylor, but I can hold my own on all that. You just got to believe in yourself.
I got you.
So doing all that, I finally started getting hired.
How old were you roughly?
I'm 19, 20 years old whenever all this is happening. So I got into a civic ballet company in Denton, and then auditioned for the play Texas in Amarillo, or Paladera Canyon.
Okay.
That's a musical. And so I got hired for that as a dancer, and that was tied with West Texas State University, where we had this group called Dancing People and the Amarillo Ballet. And so I was in the Amarillo Ballet Company and doing Dancing People and a dance major at West Texas State University. And they were also associated with Texas, and so the people that went to West Texas as dancers were usually the people that were in the cast over there. I kept doing that 4 years, and then when I went to get my dance degree, I got my dance degree from Virginia Intermont College in Bristol, Virginia. Then I got hired at Opryland. This is when the big stuff started happening. So I got hired at Opryland and did their show, and of course Opryland had lots of opportunities to perform with people like Tanya Tucker. Bob Hope did a special. I sang God Bless the USA with Tanya Tucker. Porter Wagner, Barbara Mandrell, who else? Clint Black, bunch of artists that came through. They kind of hired us for little shows. I did all their Christmas shows in Colorado and on the General Jackson Showboat, and so they kind of launched the real idea that, hey, I think I'm going to do this as a absolute complete career. So did that for a while, and then I said part of this spectrum that I want to be on is to be able to go and work on cruise ships. Always wanted to go on a cruise ship, and so I said this would be one of it. It just so happened that one of the producers for the cruise ships came to one of the shows and said, hey, I'd like you to audition for the company. And so I auditioned, and so he, right after the season ended, he said in 1 month I was going to be going to South America and all through the Caribbean. And so that was my first cruise thing. Well, I caught the bug there. So off and on, 10 years.
Yeah.
Off the ship 2 months, on the ship for 6 months, back and forth and back and forth. Yeah.
So you don't get seasick, apparently.
No, even in the worst. And there was some times where probably twice that I felt like maybe we were going down.
Yeah, dang.
Going around Cape Horn, South America, the wind is probably 50 knots, just constant 50 knots. The ship was tilted to the side. And
did they make everybody go to the other side to sort of balance?
Couldn't balance it out. No, but we took a lot of pictures of us standing level but crooked.
Sideways, yeah.
And of course they put in the little puke bags all along the inside of it. And but yeah, TV's crashing, pianos rolling off the stage, breaking legs off of them, and the whole bit. Doing that. That's the only time I ever got scared. But
they got insurance for that. So.
Yeah, but no, I got my sea legs and my landlubber legs.
Yeah. Okay.
And in this 10 years, so after my 7th year, I decided I was going to go and not be on the cruise ships as a worker, but I wanted to be on there as a passenger. And so I said, well, I'm not going to be able to make the kind of money that I make right now and be able to afford being a passenger. So I remembered I had told my mom in high school I was either going to be a chiropractor or an entertainer, because I hurt my neck in football one time, and this chiropractor adjusted my neck, and I was amazed that I couldn't move it for 4 days, and he adjusted it, and I could move it immediately. And so at that time, chiropractic college was about 2 years. And so whenever I decided I was going to go to chiropractic college, it was now you had to have prerequisites of 2 years and 4 years, so basically 6 years to get your doctorate.
Damn.
So I went to chiropractic college for a year, and then another cruise ship came available that was like a brand new 6-star, and so I said, I'll be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I took off, and when I came back, I got my degree in my doctorate in 2000, and I had met a cruise director on there, and I got married to her. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't know you were married before.
for a while. Yeah, I moved to South Carolina and practiced. But she kept working on the ships, and that doesn't work out well for a relationship.
Right.
So it ended up that we ended up getting divorced, and I got the Shih Tzu, so she went back on the cruise ship.
And just for the record, Shih Tzu is not a disease.
No. It's a little poopy. So I
A little
after
poopy. The Shih Tzu is a
poopy.
poopy.
Get it? Yeah, I get
Okay.
it.
You said it.
So after I graduated, we actually went on my last ship contract. She was the cruise director, and I was the assistant cruise director.
You
And
were
I had my own
divorced
show.
at this time?
We were still together.
Still
yeah.
together.
So so that was the beginning of it. We actually
Gotcha.
got married on a cruise ship.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not. So I worked that thing for about 3 or 4 months, and just was like, this is not where I want to be. I'm wasting my degree. So then I went back. We moved to South Carolina. When I moved to South Carolina, I said, no more arts.
You were tired. You were
giving
full
it all
up.
Had
enough.
I'm not going to sing and try this anymore.
What caused that? What caused that? That's really what I'm interested in.
Okay. I'd kind of realized after doing all this that what if I was to become famous and I was become, let's say, a country music star? 6 months on the road, 6 months on the studio, can't have any kind of normal life. You go to the grocery store and everybody's hounding you. The paparazzi is always hounding you. You're always expected to be at a certain thing. And I said, really, is that what you want? Really, is that what you want? And I realized that's not what I wanted.
Wow.
So
How old were you at this point?
I was about 30 whenever I said that. It's like, even if I was to get this, I'm not sure that's exactly the life that I would want anyway. So I said, I'm not going to do arts anymore. Well, 10 years goes by, and I end up moving back to Vidor because my family's like, my nieces and stuff are growing completely into adults, and I'm totally missing everybody's life. So I moved back to Vidor, and an old friend of mine, Brian Nash.
There he is.
He came to the place that I was working, and he said, hey, we're having a rehearsal, man. I still got a band together. You want to come over? And I said, sure, I'll come over. And so I went over there, and I sang, and they were like, dude, you need to be in the band, because they didn't have a singer, right?
Right.
And so they were like, you still got it and everything. And so I said, well, I'm not interested in being in a band. I don't need that.
Had you ever actually played in a rock band up to this point?
I'd always been in production stuff.
Right.
So produced shows by Opryland or Fiesta Texas or the people that sponsored the tours that we did, where everything was scripted and everything was here's the exact steps you do down to the second.
Yeah.
You got 45-second intro here, do your part in that, and the music will kick off here. And so it was kind of a shocker whenever I started being in a band, because
more freestyle.
Yeah, and who's in charge, and because whenever you're in production music, there's two people. They're the ones saying, "Here's everything."
Cracking the whip.
Yeah. If that don't work, they say that don't work, and have you do something else.
Wow.
So I was kind of in charge of. Well, I went to rehearsal, and Brian said, "I want you to be in the band." I said, I'm not interested in being in the band." And so after that, I came back the next week, and I came back the next week, and he said, "Dude, you're in the band." And I said, "All right, I'm in the band." So I ended up being in the band. I was kind of in charge of harmonies. That harmony stuff comes back all the way whenever we were sitting at my grandmother's house, and they would play George Jones albums on the 33s.
Yeah.
And my aunts would all sing those 3-part harmonies, and so I got a good ear for it. And so I can hear harmony better than I have the theory to read it. I mean, I can read music, but without practicing it, reading it escapes me now. But I still have the ear, and so I was kind of in charge of all the harmonies for the band. And I always said that as long as the band kept getting better, that I would stay in the music. I would stay in the band. But whenever the band stopped getting better, that I was out. And it just so happened that we just kept getting better and better.
I tell you that, and I tell you guys that every time. Every time I see you, it's better. Every single time.
Yeah, we've really honed the shows down, got a good mix of music, and I've got the right players in there right now. I've got a bunch of people that are like big hitters down
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's,
Well, you worked hard to get that. You've been through the lineup has definitely turned over quite a bit, and
Yeah.
you're the one carrying the torch the whole
yep,
time. So.
yep. Kevin and I
You
are
and
the
Kev.
me and Kev been 15 years.
Wow.
That's how long Crossroads band's been together. Now we were doing one show a month at the VFW Inviter for about $400 back then, and now, gosh, we do big festivals, Margaritaville out at the in Crystal Beach, and all bunch of bigger shows, opening for big acts like Neil McCoy and things like that. So pay's gone up quite a bit,
Yep,
and
yep.
we keep having to adapt the music. Whenever you play so much, you get to a point where people, if they come and see you often, you don't want them to ever say into their head, I know what song's going to be next.
You know what's coming.
Yeah. So we're always trying to flip it around and
Dude.
add new.
Constantly.
We have probably 300-400 songs that we could do.
Damn.
And so we keep taking some of the old and putting them back in, but I like to freshen them up. We're just now doing a Billy Joel, and I want to do that song Poison covered Your Mama Don't Dance and Your Daddy. We want to do that one. That's a good one. People dance to that. I kind of do the criteria of a song, picking it. Can you sing along to it? Can they dance to it? Usually I can listen to a song and I can tell if it's got the spark or not.
Yeah.
And then I don't pick the ones that don't do anything for me. That's been, I think, part of the success is having a variety. I don't necessarily like to go just listen to a all country band all night, or a all blues band, or definitely no rap bands.
Yeah. Well, dude, so yeah, that's full circle. You've been doing it your whole life. You tried to get away. They sucked you back in.
Yeah.
And now,
It just kept bubbling up, Kelly.
Well, you guys are the top of your field, because you stayed with it. And the thing that I always enjoy is when I watch you perform, you're always smiling. You're always smiling, and you're digging every minute of it all the time.
Still loving it.
That's
still loving it.
That means you're in the right place, that you're doing what you're supposed to do.
So whenever the band started getting, more notoriety, I started, thinking, okay, well, back then you had said to yourself, what if the band, what if I was a star and all that? And so I had to make this be okay for me. I don't mind being a big fish in a small pond, but I did not want to be more than that. I didn't want to be a rock star or anything like that, where you're on the road all the time and no family life. And so this works better.
And then you actually got married.
Ended up getting married. My second wife.
She's a sweetie.
Yep. There's a dentist in town and a great football player, Tim Hagler.
Right.
That's his cousin.
Oh, okay.
And her mother was Barbara Hagler, and she was on the PTL club and all that stuff at school. And she was always really kind to me. I actually didn't know Jamie.
I remember Miss Hagler now that you say that.
Yeah.
Sure enough.
Yeah. Yep, she's sweet.
Yep.
Yep. We just caught each other at the exact right time.
Really? How did that happen? What clicked? There's a paradigm right there, being able to actually choose somebody that you can spend time with.
And you knew me before. I was like, I'm never getting.
How did that happen? She must have put a magic spell on you or something.
So the first time she sent me a friend request on Facebook, and so of course I trolled her page and look at pictures and things like that. And I don't want to say I'm picky, but I'm picky, and that's probably the reason why I wasn't.
You have to be, really.
And so certain voices, I can't take high-pitched voices and things like that. It has to be an alto kind
I got you. Wow. So that's weird. The first thing you thought about was the pitch of the voice.
Yeah, pitch of the voice. And she's very kind. And, in my marriage before, I've made mistakes, and she's been married before, and she made mistakes. And so now that we had found each other, we started seeing each other, and it just was easy. It wasn't. You didn't have to work for it. It was just easy. We were naturally kind to each other, and naturally interested in each other. And so, with long conversations of knowing how to, how to keep a relationship alive, we do those things. We actively participate in keeping the relationship alive, making sure that we help each other and that we compliment each other and that we pay attention to each other and interested in each other and love each other and are affectionate to each other.
Yeah.
And she's very supportive for the band.
Oh,
She's
man.
now our marketing person.
Is that right?
If you see any of those ads that happen,
That's her.
that's her doing.
Yeah, it looks like, and I've noticed lately that has been sort of ratcheting up,
Yeah.
so.
It goes with that whole thing. As you get better and better, every aspect of your thing has to get better. We bring lights to every show. We're talking about maybe even bringing more lights and better lights. We tried fog machine, but it's just we have too many fans on stage, and so it just like blew all the
outside gigs. It doesn't really work.
Yeah, it blew it away, and so as the level just keeps getting better and better.
It every show. I'm telling you, every show is better and
Well,
better.
I do know this though. If I decided I didn't want to do a local band thing anymore, I would probably go into theater again. So
Really?
Beaumont Community Players. I know you and I have gone and seen some shows there. I'll probably go into that. Maybe even look for some commercial work or something like that, and maybe go down the acting road a little bit more. Yeah, when they give me the award, my star on the thing is going to say singer, actor, dancer,
Okay.
because that was the trifecta that I was
Right.
trying to get.
Right.
And so
I'd
it's
like
been
to.
a
I'd like to
successful
see.
career, yeah.
I'd like to see you and Jerry and Kevin do a little 3-step thing happening every now and then.
Yeah.
We need
combine-
to. The front guys. Let's let them. Let's come on, just a little ZZ Top thing back and forth.
Yeah, I've tried that too, and they're resistant. Kevin doesn't think he'll look cool.
Oh my God.
He doesn't want to do any choreography.
He looks cool no matter what. Come on.
And
Yeah, you got to get Kevin out there. I mean, he's with the fan and he
Yeah.
would be fine. How hard is it?
he's really branded himself,
People love just a little bit. You don't have to do no big, splits or nothing on stage like James Brown, but just a little thing.
Yeah.
It adds such it adds such momentum to the music.
Yeah.
It's just
like
a little
when he takes
thing.
his mic out in the audience and
Yeah,
sings
yeah.
with the audience.
Yeah.
They love that. A small little thing like me taking the cowbell and walking out into the audience. It's like I'm known for the cowbell man.
guy. And that other little deal, that little block thing that you play.
Yes. The little I forget what they're claves or something like that.
Right.
But they
The little thing. It's really a lot of little things add up.
yeah.
So there it is. So what? Could you sum it up? And I've got kind of a thing that just listening to you, how it sounds, what I would say. But is there a way you could sort of sum up what you've learned? What is the top thing? That mainly to encourage others. I want people to look at this and say, well, I'm going through the same thing. I'm experiencing the same things, and look what Bryan did to sort of overcome.
Yeah, working on the cruise ships, you look at performers who do individual shows, and you can see who's the good ones and who's not. The ones that really can create energy and involve the audience, those are the ones that really had the most success. I watch some bands around here, and they get up there and they play their music, and they don't move and they don't talk to the audience in between, and people will come and say, the difference between your band and that band is that you involve the audience, break down the fourth wall, because you get the fourth wall up there, and people think that you're going to play and they're just going to love you like you're George Strait. Well, and nobody can do it like George Strait. So I don't see any other way to do it than to put the energy into it, because energy creates energy. You put a lot of energy into it, and it feeds the audience, and the audience feeds you back. once that back and forth goes, you get to a point where it's just at its epic top.
Right.
Yeah, where you know that you have them right in the palm of your hand, and then you know they're watching you. I don't see any other way to do it. And so I've told some other bands, I say, you've got to put a little more energy in it. You've got to involve the audience to make them feel welcome and stir them up.
Yeah, well, they're there to participate. So
Yes. And so, even the lights, what, $100 for a set of lights? It's just one more level of energy, that there's something moving on stage that creates more energy. Then the band is creating energy, and then you get these players that we're really tight now because, well, there's no other option. You play so much. We don't even rehearse anymore. We can't.
Really? So somebody just texts a song, and then when you show up, you know it.
Yep. Say, how are we gonna do Mama Don't Dance Day? Don't rock and roll. Here's the YouTube video. I did Messina's version and Poison's version. We kind of blended the two together, and so and everybody just know what we're gonna do on songs that are more complicated, where they're like too long or whatever. We actually will have a rehearsal, maybe once every 6 months, where we can rehearse. But a lot of songs, these guys have been playing for so long, you can just say it on stage,
Right.
and you can even work it out. You
There
know
it
how
is.
that
I
goes.
do.
Yeah.
But you guys are not like I love the what is it, the Bogarts and Larry Carter. I saw him play at Cafe Del Rio, I don't know, a year or two ago, and they had a song and somebody called it out, and you could tell that it kind of caught everybody surprised. Well, they plowed through it, and you didn't until Junior started singing it. I wasn't sure what song it was. And they made it through, but they had a great time. And I remember at the end of it, Larry said, "We'll play a song even if we don't know it." And I mean, that's just, Larry can get away with that because he's such I don't want to say he's a clown, but he's just on stage. He is on stage.
That guy's
he
got
is
the
so
biggest
funny.
smile.
He is so funny and so digging what he's doing, but. I laughed, and I cannot get it. I still think about that. We'll play it even if we don't know it. And, that's kind of ballsy is what that is.
It is. See, people come up, and the hardest ones are when they say, "Can you do Shania Twain?" Blah, blah, blah. One girl wanted us to do Gretchen Wilson, "I'm Here for the Party." And I said, "I don't have any girls in the band.
No
Who's going to
girls.
sing? I'm here for..."
I'm here for the party.
But it's a compliment in some ways when people they say, "Oh, you would be great at this song by Rush," right? And you know that there's nobody can sing it,
Right.
but in their brain, they
Right.
hear what you
They
sing,
hear
and they
it.
think they could do that.
They could do it.
That's kind of a compliment,
I gotcha. So really the paradigm. I'm gonna just
Sum it up, yeah.
Sum it up.
I've been everywhere, all around the block here.
Been all around the world. Is for me, what I'm seeing in you is that you knew early on, as a kid, 3rd grade, I think your thing said, that music and show business is in your blood. And even though you tried, and you got away for a while, you came back.
Yeah.
And that's just who you are. And so a leopard can't change his spots. You have become who you were meant to be. And that's what I say. That's watching you play, watching you sing, and you're smiling and digging it the whole time. And you've been you've been doing this for so long, and you're still digging it. That tells me that you're right where you're supposed to be. And that's a blessing. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
You're making money at a thing you love, and people go their whole lives and don't figure that out, But you did. So you're the fortunate one.
Yeah, I mean, things just kind of fell in place, and players came at the right time. Once Tracy Bob Miller died, we were kind of just finding people to play bass. I even called you and said, "Kelly, can you just pick up the bass and
one time,
come
please?"
play? And you're like,
You know,
"Dude."
You know what I figured out, though? I listened to the songs that I've recorded, and I actually am a bass player. I think I am a bass player because listening to the bass lines, I feel like I'm more pleased with my bass lines than I am in anything else that I do.
It's
so.
the root of all of it.
It
you
is,
know?
yeah.
I don't care who says it. People say the lead guitarist is the best in the band. If you don't have that drummer and that bass
Drummer
player,
and the bass.
if that's not
And
solid,
everybody else is built on top of
yeah,
that.
But that bass player, and you do have a unique ear for music, and I love when you play the guitar, but you're so skilled to play any instrument that's out there.
Yeah.
I've always been enamored by the fact that you can do that.
Well, I appreciate the kind words.
I can play a cowbell and a little click stick. And
Well,
a tambourine.
you're a singer, man. You're a voice. You're a communicator, and you communicate well, and everybody's always has fun at your shows, always.
Hope so. Trying to keep the music.
I'm just wondering, do you ever get sick? You just always just seem up and bubbly.
Yeah. Even if I have a cold or whatever, the show still must
Goes
go
on.
on. I had surgery on an umbilical hernia at one point, and then 2 days later I did a show.
Oh wow!
And I couldn't even bend over to pick up the chords or anything like that. They all did the lifting and stuff, but I was still able to sing. We've been lucky with health in the band.
Well, I don't want to jinx you. I'm
Right, yeah,
knocking.
yeah.
I'm knocking on wood. So, well, anyway, that's. I think we pretty much covered it, don't you think?
Yeah.
So, Bryan Barron, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you coming, my friend.
Man, appreciate the opportunity. I tell you, it's good to be part of the Kelly Brewer legacy that's going to be left behind here.
Yeah. You know what I feel like is I'm actually sort of documenting our culture. There's something in the water.
Yes.
In Vidor,
there is.
in Southeast Texas. There's a lot of cool stuff here and a lot of water here.
Yeah.
Maybe too much.
I don't know if Donna's talked to you, but she's been talking about putting another jam together. Remember that time where you and me and Ronnie Herrera came up and Keith Watkins?
That'd be fun.
She's wanting to do something like that again.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
She actually has given me a good encouragement, Donna Little, down there at the Oaks. I gave her a copy of Something in the Water a couple years ago, and she's been playing it at her DJ shows.
Okay.
And says she plays it all the time. So I was like, wow, really?
Yeah,
So that's very cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe we'll have some success with that. So,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. I love you. Peace.
Yep. Tune in. He'll be around. He's making lots more interviews and stuff, and lots more things coming down the pipe for you, man.
Lots coming. We're
Proud-
right on the edge.
Proud to see it.
Thank you, friend.